If you ever spend the night in a lonely roadside motel, and after midnight your phone receives a voice message in your own voice saying, "Don't open room 215. Because if you do, you will become part of it before sunrise. Believe me, no matter what anyone tells you, leave immediately." Daniel didn't, and what happened to him afterward has never been explained. Rain poured relentlessly from the dark Oregon sky. Every flash of lightning illuminated the towering pine trees surrounding the empty highway before everything disappeared into darkness again. Daniel Harper, a 32-year-old freelance photographer, was driving home after finishing a photography assignment in Portland. Just after midnight, the rain became so heavy that visibility dropped to almost nothing. His windshield wipers struggled to keep up as a warning light suddenly flashed across the dashboard. LOW fuel, Daniel sighed. Seriously, now? He looked around. There wasn't a gas station or even a small town for miles. A few minutes later, through the thick fog, he spotted a flickering neon sign. Pine Ridge Motel. The sign buzzed as if it hadn't been repaired in decades. One night, Daniel muttered to himself, "That's all." He pulled into the nearly empty part of the corridor. Daniel unlocked the door. The room was surprisingly clean: a neatly made bed, an old wooden dresser, a small television, and a single window overlooking an endless forest. He locked the door behind him, plugged his phone into the charger, and collapsed onto the bed. The long drive had exhausted him. Within minutes, his eyes began to close. Then, knock. Daniel instantly sat upright. The sound had come from the wall beside his bed. Knock. This time it was louder. Room 215. The old man's warning echoed in his mind. "It's probably another guest," Daniel whispered, trying to convince himself. A third knock came. Room 214 sat at the very end of the corridor. Daniel unlocked the door. The room was surprisingly clean: a neatly made bed, an old wooden dresser, a small television, and a single window overlooking an endless forest. He locked the door behind him, plugged his phone into the charger, and collapsed onto the bed. The long drive had exhausted him. Within minutes, his eyes began to close. Then, knock. Daniel instantly sat upright. The sound had come from the wall beside his bed. Knock. This time it was louder. Room 215. The old man's warning echoed in his mind. "It's probably another guest," Daniel whispered, trying to convince himself. A third knock came. Then silence. Daniel reached for his phone. The screen read 12:47 a.m. At that exact moment, his phone vibrated. Unknown number, a voice message. He hesitated before pressing play. Static filled the speaker. Then came the sound of slow breathing. Suddenly, he heard his own voice. "Daniel, if you're hearing this, get out now, she's awake." His heart nearly stopped. It was unmistakably his voice. Not just the sound. Even the way he spoke. His hands began to shake as he replayed the message. This time, at the very end, another whisper appeared beneath the static. "She's standing outside your door." Daniel slowly turned toward the entrance. A thin strip of hallway light shone beneath the door. Then, the light disappeared. Something, or someone, was standing directly outside. Daniel held his breath. The hallway remained completely silent. A few seconds later, two bare, soaking wet feet slowly appeared beneath the gap under the door. Water dripped quietly onto the wooden floor. They didn't move. Whoever stood outside simply remained there, waiting. Daniel swallowed hard. Who's there? No answer. Only the sound of a long, icy breath, as though someone had pressed their face against the other side of the door. Several terrifying seconds passed. Then, the feet slowly stepped away. Daniel finally exhaled. Before he could relax, the bathroom door slowly creaked open by itself. He was certain he had left it closed. Carefully, he walked inside. The bathroom was empty. But across the fog-covered mirror, someone had written a sentence with a finger. "You're very late coming back." A wave of cold rushed through his body. Daniel immediately decided to leave and speak with the motel manager. He opened his room door, then froze. The hallway had changed. It was far longer than before. And something else was horribly wrong. Every single room had the same number. 214,214,214,214. It was as if room 215 had never existed. Then, behind him, a woman's voice softly whispered, "Danny." Daniel's blood froze. Only one person had ever called him that. Emily. The girl who had mysteriously died 15 years earlier. The girl whose death still haunted his memories. And whose secret only Daniel knew. To be continued.